What's good, YouTube and my TTG Nation? And we in here with another one. The homie, cause he ain't have nobody really helping him. So I knew that by me helping him, he'd be able to eat the next day the way he wanted to eat. Because a lot of people still take their earthly abilities and what they're used to. They try to make some kind of normalcy in the world that they're now forced to be in. So we played for soups, because you can make a lot of things out of that sauce and out of them noodles. You can make a lot of good, intricate meals. So I sat there and I helped him. And we was playing, I'll never forget, because normally when these guys come to our Terror Dome, they go for the weakest person. You know what I'm saying? And they clip that dude. I mean, I've seen them bang guys' heads on the lockers and do some real crazy stuff to the weak individuals. And so it was my time for them to, I guess, check me. And mind you, I was working out and training some of the most deadliest fighters I've ever seen. These dudes was like bench pressing raw, natural, 425. I'm training them on the mitts. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving them work to where they can't keep up. So that was the level of my training when it came to guys like that. But at the end of the day, they still needed to test me. So they did. Now, one of the guys who was part of that organization let the back door open. And the boys came in. There was a brother named Ewok. And Ewok clipped me because he's short. You know what I mean? He real short. That's why I think they called him Ewok, because it was like some Star Wars shit. He clipped me at the bottom of my leg, so I fall down. I'm playing this game. I'm not thinking they coming for me. I'm thinking they coming for the weakest dude, what they normally do. Nah, this time it was all eyes on me. For real. All eyes on me. And he clipped me and I fell down. The other guy, Roscoe, that was his name, Roscoe, he came for me. And so now they dragging me and pulling me, and I allowed it to happen. But while they're doing this, I'm looking at the G's that I did have at that time. My baddest one was out work at the fire camp, because if he was there, this story probably would have went a lot differently. But I had a brother by the name of Memphis and Rob G. Salute to you, champ. I understand you owe the age. You played it smart. It's all good. Ain't no love lost, because I ain't mad at you. But person I was mad at was the younger brother of Memphis, who just allowed me to get slitted into the front. They waited until the CO was gone. Once again, there's protocol. And if the CO deems a fight, they won't be there for it. They'll be out the way. That's real talk. So at this point in time, the Bloods had work. They had supremacy. They had power. And me being with the organization that I was with, we was outmanned, but I'm the enforcer, the general, even though I didn't ask for it. So we go and they they slide me to the front of office where the CEO would normally be, and he wasn't there. And they had me take off against their first rider, which was Roscoe. Ewok was there to help get me trapped up and slide me through. But Ewok was not about to start that with me. Like, he already knew that fight was not going to happen. So Roscoe, he was a young, strapping black, dark-skinned brother. And he decided to be the brother to try, at first, to come at me. Now, the OG, he knew that I was a problem for anybody that came up against me. I was a problem. So he warned me and said that if I went all out, they was going to all jump me, and it wasn't going to be pretty because they was going to use their shanks to stab me, everything they had in their arsenal. It wasn't going to be pretty for me. And since I knew I was outnumbered, I knew that if anybody tried to jump in and try to help out, they was going to get hurt too. So a lot of this was really on my shoulders. So Roscoe, I went to slapping him instead of punching. And the moment that the OG was just like, yo, you're giving him too much work, you need to calm it down, they decided to go with another option because they clearly saw that Roscoe was no work for me. I was actually playing with him, you know what I'm saying? As tough as he was and as buck as he was, you know, once again, if you know about your range, you know about your timing, you got some skills, it don't matter what a fighter say, you know what I mean? When you sitting at them and you engaging them, they tend to find out what you're about. So they didn't want that smoke anymore, so they brought in one of their enforcers. And one of their enforcers, unfortunately, was my bros who I went to fire camp and we cut down trees, we climbed mountains, we've done a lot, and we play fight hard. Like, play fight, I don't know what your play fighting look like, but ours was, we used tools. And he knew that I had tendonitis in both of my hands at that time, and so the times that we play fought, he would always go for that. He would always try to hit me at my weakness, and I hated that, but I knew I needed to overcome that, so I would overcome that with him. And we our play fighting was, it was vicious. It was vicious. So this time, he when they call him out, he looked at me, and the first thing he said was, I'm sorry that we got to be doing this because you know I got to come at you. And I just told him, it's okay, it's all right, do your best, let's go. Once again, bare knuckle, you know what I mean, didn't have time to strap up, no socks or nothing. They dragged me. They when they got me, Ewok hit me from the low. I went to the ground, and him and Roscoe literally just dragged me out. I mean, I let them drag me out. It wasn't like I was fighting them. I knew what time it was, and I wasn't finished to exhaust any energy that I needed to exhaust, because I knew what was coming up. So I allowed them to, drag me out on my back. And when they dragged me out, I had to fight Roscoe, and I told you how that went. Then they brought in my boy, who recently had put 2 of the giants that we had in the pod before I got there in the infirmary. So he's about 6'8". He has that Deontay Wilder kind of length. He knew how to use his power, and I think he was very confident in his power. So that's who I had to fight next. But I had to fight him with a handicap. I couldn't use everything that was in my arsenal because I was being threatened by the OG that if I did, all of them was going to come for me. Now, none of my boys really got my back because we undermanned. We don't got the manpower to handle what these boys talking about. So it really rested on me. So the initial biz was nothing but body shots. You know, it's just body shots, you know, nothing to the head. So I went ahead and I played to that rule. And my man was coming at me, and I guess I was hurting him a little bit too much to the body. And he started hitting me in my face. I told y'all about that white fog and what have you, but I ain't never seen static. Static like in a TV screen kind of static. Like when the voice started hitting me in the face, I saw static. Every time he rattled my cage, I saw static. And that but I came right back, but it indicated to me that I was disconnected. Like he knocked me out on my feet. And I just was not willing to go down apparently. And so we still throwing blows though. Like I'm not stopping punching while I'm seeing static. I'm still punching. Okay. I just guess that's from the crazy kind of training I had growing up. Or just maybe it could be DNA. I don't know. But we just kept going at it. But while we punching each other, I'm moving backwards because his punches is so hard. And even though we have these shoes on, the ground is still slippery and the traction on our shoes ain't that great. It's just like wearing slippers. So he was sliding straight up. He was sliding me like no other. And every time I would try to put some power into it, OG be like, look, listen what we said. If you try to put in work, we coming for you. So bark down. So he looking at everything that I'm doing, which is not a good look for me. And I don't really have that help. So he slid me. He hit me so hard at a point. He slid me through the double doors of the cafeteria. And that was probably one of the first times I ever had to think about. Like when he slid me, I caught my grip and I sat on top of the bench with my feet on the seats. Kind of like what I would do if I was at one of my clubs or whatever. And I sat there and I just started thinking. I was just like, I can't go all out on this guy because I'm dead and possibly hurting other individuals in the situation. So how can I beat this man? And I'm sitting there like, this is thinking. They not expecting me to come back out them doors ready to fight again. But that's exactly what I did. So I said, how can I beat him? Something came into me and just said, take his strength away. He's heavy about his strength, you know that. Take his strength away. And the other question came out is, how do you take his strength away? real talk, it's this kind of form of method, which is highly illegal, but digging it into the shoulder where the point of impact or where they pull their power from is the best way to take someone's power away. And I did that. I said, okay, this is how I'm gonna do it, but I ain't gonna go all out. I'm only gonna go like 50% because I didn't want them to know what I was doing. And so, you know what I mean? Shouts out to everyone that was in there for that. Real talk. You know what I mean? You're gonna take a rest. And I didn't do any of that. I was actually reading a book. The homie was just like, hey, I need you to play spades with me so I can get some soups. So I went ahead and played spades with him. And while I'm playing spades, one of the essays came at me named Ryder. Shouts out to you, Ryder, man. I hope you're doing good, Chad. Ryder came up and was just like, oh boy, I want to talk to you outside. I'm thinking he want to run it back because if he was like me, he could have felt like the fight didn't go the way it should have went because I should have been in the infirmary. I shouldn't have been standing the way I'm standing, playing card games and all that. So I'm thinking he wanted some more work. So I go out and he was like, I need to talk to you outside. Now it's cold as hell. So I said, give me a second, let me put something on, because I didn't have really nothing on. It was nice and hot where we was at. So I didn't have to worry about that outside work. But when he said he want to talk to me outside, I said, well, let me put some clothes on, because I don't know if you're going to try to do nothing sneaky or, you know, you just want to talk. But regardless, I need to sustain some heat because we going out to this blizzard. And I'll never forget it. That's what I'm talking about. My brother took me outside, and he basically said that after the fight that we had, he never felt pain like that. And he decided to go to sleep. He was like, but when he woke up and tried to get his body up, he couldn't. He was like, his body didn't react to his commands. He was like, bro, it was like I was paralyzed. I couldn't. And then he said, when I did get up, I was in so much pain. My upper body was in so much pain that I had to lay back down and take another sleep. You know what I mean? That means she was really in trouble. And so he turned around and was like, I don't want no smoke from you, but I don't know what you did to me. And so, you know, I felt bad because a lot of fighters that claim to be fighters don't really know, especially when it comes to street fight, what you can do and how you can do it. So I felt bad for him because he's doing 22 years or 23, 24, something like that. I'm only doing a few. And his family, after his 10th or 11th year, has already kind of like shut him down a little bit. So his only option was to go to a horse camp and get more money, because we was only getting like in prison over there $1.27, and that's cutting trees and some hard work. That's why I understand about that slave thing. I get it. And they used us for hard labor, and they probably made a crap ton of money and paid us just less than a penny on a dollar. But over here, he was gonna be making a little bit more money, and that's what he was banking on. And in order to get to that fire camp, you gotta be physically fit for this particular fire camp, or the horse camp. You gotta be physically fit, and he showed me that he couldn't even lift his arms up past his chest. I literally decapitated his strength. You feel me? But when you start seeing static when a man hits you, I'm sorry, you gotta figure something. And when they're sliding you through the doors, you gotta find a solution to that. And I did. Unfortunately, it came to where he wasn't able to continue on. And so I told him what I did. I told him that I'm apologetic for it, but why I did it. And so I said, since I'm cool with the COs, which I were, because I was training some of them and giving them my own fight strategy and what I did as far as fighting go and preparing it. Them boys love seeing me. Them COs love seeing me coming out the gym, because I was just muscle on muscle, but it was condensed, and everything was well placed, just to say the least. So I was in good favor with the COs. They gave me they gave me prescription drug pills, and I would take some ice. Now, when you walk into a no-zone block, they normally just wear you out. They'll just come fight you, and you gotta fight your way. You know what I mean? If you don't belong there, you ain't part of they set, part of they hood. I promise you, they take care of business, make sure you up out of there. And I was one of the only few that can walk through different portals and not get touched, really. When I walked through there, of course, Roscoe looking at me, ready to get at me. But you had the other cat and a few other cats saying like, nah, he got free passage. Roscoe didn't like that one. He was like, how did this man get free passage? Like, he should be, right for the killing like everybody else. But nah, I can come through. I got a hall pass, and even my bros that I went at, he was hurt and could hardly walk, could hardly do certain things. He stood up for me. It was just like, nah, I told him to come here. Once he said it, it was in stone. So I went up to him, I gave him his pills, I gave him his ice, I told him to get back into his bed. I put the ice on him, I said, I'll be back to refill the bag. Long story short, it took me about 2 weeks to fully recover him back to where he was able to lift at least 30 to 35 pounds of weight. But that was more than enough for him to get into the horse camp. And I worked with him, you know what I mean? And he wasn't my enemy. It was just the fact that he had to do a job and I had to do a job. So when I talk about this boxing situation, these brothers are getting paid for the stuff that I did. And now that, I'm older and wiser, I get that. But at the end of the day, these boys that are fighting out here for millions of dollars, where I was at, we was doing more with bare knuckle hands, and it wasn't for any kind of money. It was for survival, straight survival. And I was happy for him because he was able to go to the horse camp after I was able to bring him back from his weakness to his strength. And well, I'm gonna say it what organization I was with, but we was able to keep our status and show us the blood, and we was even able to have commerce, trade. That happened, you know what I mean? But that was one of the toughest fights I had because I was handicapped for one. I didn't have a way out. I didn't have really any backup, nobody to look back and say, help me, nigga, help me. Nah, I didn't have none of that. It was all on me. And I had to come up with a very strategic plan on how I was going to get up out of this fight without taking an L. And I did that. So he was able to get to the horse camp. A couple months later, I got released into this spot called Casa Grande. Y'all don't know what that is either, but that spot you go to is like the Yale of prisoners. You know what I mean? You'd be able to go outside and see some of the world, walk the strip, but they made sure they tagged you, so they knew what was going on with you when you was out there. But it was a chance to get and see the world, you feel me, or see your city and state. So that all happened, and that made me a better fighter. But that's another segment, another tale that I had to deal with, and I took care of business. So once again, when I talk about TTG being trained to go, I promise you, this is not coming from an individual that has not seen some work or been in some work. The work I did in Europe was stupid. What I mean by stupid, it was crazy stuff that I did. Won't ever talk about it. Just know that I've been to Roma, Naples, Florence, Crotone, Tuscany, I think I said Florence. If I did, Florence. I'm up Germany, London, Paris, France. Yeah, I've been around the block over there in Europe. So I really can't say that it's not enough like how Manny is. Manny Pacquiao's looking at Errol Spence. I get him. I totally do. The only difference is that I'm 6'4", homie, and I'm strong. I was the equalizer for a lot of guys. You know what I mean? And even guys that were 6'7", 6'8". So that's how I know size don't matter. And that's what I'm saying. Like me being talking about trained to go. You gotta understand the wars, the battles. Oh gosh, I can go on and on and on about some of the battles I've had. And size really doesn't matter. Weight really doesn't matter. If you have technique, you have heart, you know about timing, range, distance, body language, what to read, what are you reading on of that particular individual. And trust me, if you are a crafty fighter, you know, like there's some fighters that wiggle their hand before they throw a shot. They don't know that they do it, or if they do know, I guess they don't feel like someone might pick it up. There's other fighters that, might do a little bit of footwork and movement, kind of like a dance. And I did ballet, okay? I've done jazz, African dance, hip hop dance. When I start seeing rhythms like that, then I'll just change the rhythm up and see if you can keep up. That's it. If I'm already strong, if I'm already fast, if I already cause a problem for you, then I just need to change the rhythm up. Done. Get me. Like I'm giving y'all some jewels. Like stuff really people should have been saying for a long time, and I'm trying to wonder why. If you saying you want the best to fight the best, and if you saying you this kind of champion and this kind of champion, why you not giving some of these secrets out? Why? Isn't it gonna make your game better? Isn't it gonna make what you do better? So, I mean, I beat a man and who's an executioner for a set, and I helped him back to health just so he can make some more money at another camp. But he was like one of y'all, just oblivious to the fight game. He had all the attributes to be devastating, and he was devastating. Hell, he gave me some serious work. But then it came to this. I wasn't thinking with anger. I'm like, how can I get out of this situation? And I found a solution. And the solution put that man down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was, and that's what it is. So, I'm trained to go. I got too many accolades, and I dare. Seriously, I dare people to try to challenge me on that. There was a situation where, even with Floyd, we was at this club called Ethiopia at the time, Utopia, something like that. And I was driving a purple Concorde, alright? And everybody was leaving. It was a big event. I was working, was I working or was I kicking? I think I was kicking at that time. And there was this car in front of me. Now, Fat Burger is right over the fence from the club. And there's a street store. I don't know if it was CVS or Walgreens or something like that. But I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to go. You feel me? I got places to be. And this dude was driving like super slow. Now Floyd and a certain individual, and I'll tell you what his nickname is, was in the front. Floyd was driving, and the other guy was on the passing side. So I'm thinking that these guys are not really together, and that was my bad, because I ended up bumping the dude, like bumping him, because he was moving so slow. So I ended up bumping him. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? That on me.
You big dummy.
Is what that is. You feel me? And so I turned around, and when I bumped him, Floyd and his boy, they make a immediate turn into where Fat Burger is at, and they get to an area where they can hop that wall, because it's easy to do that. all of a sudden this like van pops up, and it was a Jeep, black van. It pops up, and Ella B and his little mob squad stepped out. Now, this is when Ella B was trying to get locks. You feel me? He had these little ass things in his hair at this time. He wasn't bald. The boy wasn't bald headed all the time. He had hair. And when they came out, I knew I was in trouble, but it was Floyd that made the statement when he came across the wall with the other individual. He was like, out of that movie, South Central, he was like, you done fucked up, right? You done fucked up, right? He was like, you done fucked up. And I'm looking at Floyd, and I'm like, do you not remember me? Like, me and you got history, homie. And the person that and then Ella B, he was, not at my nose, but he was close. And his homeboys, they was trained to go. Them boys was ready to rock and roll. And so immediately I laughed. I looked at my situation. I don't got none of my homeboys with me. I'm solo dolo. And I laughed because I said, if this is how I'm going to go out, then I'm going to go out banging. Straight up banging. And so my man came at me. I don't think I got enough for that, but let's put it out here, because I said I was going to come out banging. I meant that.
I am the greatest.
I really meant that.
Bomb Squad! Bomb Squad!
So the guy that was with him, his name was Head. Alright, if you didn't know who Head is, Head has a big head. That's why you call him Head. And he was with Floyd, kind of like from the beginning of his campaign in Vegas. And me and Head got some history, and Head knows about my pedigree. And so he was with Head. I'm looking at Floyd, not in a weak stance, but I felt he was, because he's his right hand man. To me, is Mark, and he knows why. Like, I'm not gonna speak your business out, champ, but not really a champ, but you a Mark, and he sold and lied his way to the top, for real, cuz I saved him and Kool-Aid, just so anybody wanna contest this. Head, Kool-Aid, when y'all almost got executed by lesser competition at a certain spot. Yeah. Head. And Head see me go up against Primus King, who is one of the younger brothers of the Kings family of Garson Park Kings, or Killers, in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? Garson Park. What's up? Primus King. What's up, champ? That's champ. I give him champ. Keith King, what's up, bro? I hope you're still alive. Don't know if you are. But me and Primus, we went at it. Head saw that. Head saw the work that we did, and that was us just playing around. Feel me? Head was like, bro, once again, another fight where another individual said, I ain't never seen nothing like that. We was moving fast, and just dangerous. Both of us was truly dangerous. When I saw Head, I laughed. When Floyd saw that, I was like, Head, now you know better. That's exactly my words to that man. I said, Head, and I'm laughing like, you know better. And Floyd looking at Head, cause Head ain't saying nothing. Head ain't talking shit. Head knew. Head was not talking nothing. And Floyd said, do you know this dude? Head was like, yeah. And Floyd starting to pay attention. Floyd looking at, I'm watching Floyd. Floyd keep looking at Head like, what the hell's going on here? Why you ain't doing what you know? And so then Floyd, now mind you, if Floyd had gave that word, Ellaby and his crew would have came at me, and I knew I had a fight on my hands. People don't know that Ellaby did work. He did. He didn't do that kind of work, but he laid hands when he needed to. But when it came to me, okay, he was right in front of my goddamn face. I'm standing like a face off without COVID. We there to the point to where I have to put my Franklin gloves on because the boys behind him are bigger than him. And also, I'm looking at my right side, and I'm like, Floyd Head right there in front of me, plus the boy that I hit. So I'm surrounded. You feel me? I'm straight surrounded. And I just started laughing because I'm just like, Head, you the first person I'm gonna knock out. I said that. I said, after Head, I looked right at Ellaby and said, you're next. I said, after I knock out Head, I'm knocking you out. I know I couldn't touch Floyd because he's a boxer, and if he did, it really wouldn't be fair, wouldn't it? It's a street fight, so you understand there's no rules in a street fight, right? So for him, it really wouldn't have been fair at all. So I told Head I'm going for him first because he's the mark. And then I looked at Ellaby because he's all up in my space with his goon squad. I'm like, you're next. Because if I take him out, I'm thinking in my head, then maybe everybody else will back off. But Floyd was so floored at the fact that Head was putting his head down and being so remissive of talking. Head knew who I was and what I was about. Like, he would just keep his head down and not even he didn't even want to look at me. It was crazy. And so Floyd, he saw everything that was going down. And I swear, this is on my 3 kids, okay? On my 3 kids. Floyd gonna say, you lucky we about to get that man's bumper replaced tomorrow. If it wasn't for that, we was gonna fuck you up. You was gonna do what? He said,
bruh.
I I'm like, are you serious? But he said it.
Bruh.
I'm like, you
big dummy.
get the fuck up out of here. And so they all left. They got into their vehicles. And Floyd was like, you lucky, man. You lucky that we was getting his bumper fixed anyway tomorrow. And we gonna let you slide. And they get in their vehicles and they roll out. Now, get what the picture I'm trying to, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all on TTG. For real. I'm met with one of the most dangerous fighters of all time with his crew. But the guy that he was riding with knew my pedigree and didn't want no smoke. That Ellaby, he had plenty of opportunities to sneak me. Plenty. I gave it to him. I wanted to see if he was gonna do it. That's why I was not paying him no. Never mind when he was still in my space. And I'm looking at Floyd and I'm looking at Head, because I'm looking at Head putting his head down and not want to look me in my face. And I'm talking shit. Feel me? I'm talking some. Like, bro, I'm gonna take him out first. I already said, bro, I'm knocking his head off first. And then I'm going to your boy right here that's next to me because he's being disrespectful, being in my space. Floyd was like, oh yeah. I'm like, most definitely. Like, what y'all gonna do about it? Like, I'm coming. I didn't say I'm coming for Floyd. If Floyd stepped in, he would have got some work. But I'm coming for your boy right there. Feel me? And then I'm coming to your right hand man and taking him out. And then I'm gonna work my way down. That was my plan. I'm by myself. I don't got any other options. Gotta do what I gotta do. At the end of the day, I didn't do shit. I put my Frankie gloves on. I was ready to go to work. You know what I mean? Didn't know if I was gonna get out of there, unscathed. Really didn't know. But Floyd and his crew backed off. Literally backed off. Got in their cars and drove away. That's another one for you. I got plenty more. Y'all just don't know. I got plenty more. But that was crazy. That's just another segment of why I'm trying to tell y'all TTG. Chronicles is real, and things I've done overseas and in the States, it's really real. So, salute to my people, TTG Nation. What up, though? We out of here, man. And once again, rocking with the TTG Nation. We in here, salute. We out with another one.